Okay.
Okay.
Vayibagi Shmua. Elachenu Krovim Barachokim.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I don't see it. I was sharing the screen.
You're sharing search results and documents and
Oh, so sharing the wrong screen. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Now we got it.
Now we got it.
Okay, so Hadrian gave permission to the Jews to restart the Avodas HaKorbanos. And we I thought we just started this, but maybe we didn't start it. When people heard about this far and wide, that they were given to favor in the eyes of the Roman Caesar. They allowed to rebuild Yerushalmi by Mikdash. Those bed go up to Yerushalmi. Those by name is a pela gadol hazeh, to see this great wonder. I like this proof the most. When one of the Tanoim Ben Zoma, Shlomo made when he was standing. The Gabi Malos Harbais on a steps Harbais. Shishim Robo Ribam Yisrael Nesofim Harbais. He saw 600,000 Jews collecting Harbais. Baruch Chacham Marozim. So that's a brachas nun chesem rab. It says Ben Zoma made this bracha when he saw 600,000 people gathered on the Har Bayis. Ben Zoma was a Talmud of Rabbi Akiva. Ben Zoma was not alive at the time of the existence of the Beis HaMikdash. For him to see 600,000 people in the Har Bayis indicates that there was some time after the destruction of the Bayis Sheni, when Jews congregated in huge numbers at the site of the Har Bayis. So therefore, there had to have been a point in history when this occurred. It must have been at the time when Hadrian gave permission to rebuild the Beis HaMikdash. Okay, that's a pretty good proof. Gam Kohen Gadol Skan Kohen Gadol Manu Oz. So they appointed also a Kohen Gadol and a Skan Kohen Gadol. Now here he goes into the footnote, and I'm going to expand into a very fascinating history, which is it's too big. Yeah. Still too big. Okay, Sanhedrin Av Isa Shmuel Kotan. Omar. So Shmuel Kotan was in Yavne, right? He was the one who made the bracha of Lamal Shinim. So he said, "B'shas Misa." So he said, "Time is that Shimon be Shmuel l'Charba, v'Chavroi l'Ktola." So he said that Roshim Gamliel. Well, we're going to see in a minute who he's talking about. Shimon and Shmuel are going to be killed by sword. Chabroi and the other Chaverim, L'Ktol, are going to be killed. Shar Amo Lebiza and the rest of the nation to degradation. About Konsagin and many Tsaros. Asin Lemesa Amo, which are going to come to the world. Perish Rashi Shimon Rishmo Roshim Gamliel and Nasi Ber Shmuel and Elisha Kohen Gadol Yargu B'Char Cherev. Chabroi and the friends who are they going to be Rabbi Kiva Chanani Ben Trajo. They don't move on. This doesn't make any sense. Shmuel Kotan B'Yavne. Shmuel Kotan was in Yavne. He's a shom. Shupam Achasim Musubim Bali B'Yavne. They were sitting in the second floor in Yavne. And a voice came out from heaven, and it says that one of you is suitable for Ruach HaKodesh. And Nasu Chacham is name is Shmuel Kotan. And the Chacham is sitting there in Yavne. Said, "Oh, it's Shmuel." Chaim Brodskov Chazabei Shimon Pakuli, who's supposed to be Shmuel, was before Shmuel. He's the Yudches Brachas Aseri B'Yavne. He made the 18 Brachas Shmon Esrei. He arranged them in Yavne. Amlem Gamil Chachomim. Kum Yeshachot Shodel Takim Birchas Aminim. Is there one of you who's able to make the Bracha of Lamalshim? Amach Shmuel Kodim B'Tikna. Okay, fine. So he was in Yavne. Echin Abei B'Shas Moso. Ashur Gamil of Rabbi Yochanan Yishmael Kohen Gadol. Shu B'Fnei Abai Shehargu. They're already long dead. They died a long time ago. They were killed time the Churban Beis HaMikdash. What kind of a nubuah is this? Right? If the Romans seized them at the time of the Churban, why did they immediately kill them? If they didn't seize them, because they didn't assume that they're rebels. Why is Yochanan ben Zakkai put in place of the Nasi? Why is Shingamliel not remain the Nasi? So what's going on here? Shuvayisi Bagos Rashash, Shikosev, Shishin Bakulis, the Yuchas Brachos, in there Gamliel Zokin. No, that Shimon Bakuli was before in front of Gamliel Zokin, who's way before the Churban. Shmuel Katan may sleep near Churban. Shmuel Katan died before the Churban. But that ain't no MS. That's not true. The Avner alone as the America is in the Torah. The Avner was not a sent of Torah, and there wasn't a gathering stage there. Adi Meah Churban. Gamliel Zokin Chaverov, Gamliel Zokin and his colleague, Shemez Shayim Ravos Neah Churban, who died many years before the Churban, and Loyim Mitzuyim Be'avner. They were not in the Avner. Law, this is a standard answer, which we get many times, we have a difficulty with a contradiction. Says there are two Shmuel Kotans. Like the Gemara says, there are two Ashkelons. The person who gave Nevuah may sleep near Churban. He died before the Churban. And there was another Shmuel Kotan later in Yavne. But Gamzel Lonir. This doesn't seem true. Shavil no my daughter, the Isa Sham Shupam Achasim Subim Balia Biyavne. Even going to say that which it says there's another time there at the second floor in Yavne. Then the Lame Rocha Baskum in Shemaim and a boys come from heaven. V'chuli Nasnei Shmuel Kotan. They looked at Shmuel Kotan. V'chuli Afu Amar B'Shas Misaso Shimon B'Shmuel Charba. Shemasume Biyavne Shabo Sham Pi Mikre. That perhaps you have to say that it says there at that point that they were in Yavne, and they're going to have to say that happened by coincidence, because it says that this Pasco, which happened before the Churban, happened in Yavne. How are they coming to Yavne? So there must have been, without the by sheer coincidence, Veloshia has Yavne America's La Torah, not that Yavne was then the focal point of Torah. Venitzis Bodol say, even if we're going to say that that's true, we'll accept this difficulty. Mana said, what are you going to do? It says, Kshemeshmu Kadu Chule, Vayura Gamliel Hazakar Lesman Azayim Aspidim Alav, Bechule. It says Gamliel Hazakin is not the same Gamliel. This is Gamliel later on. I don't know why it says Hazakin here. Because maybe, but this because the time Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Gamliel Hazakin was at the time of before the Churban. Right. This one Gamliel is referring to is the regular Gamliel because he's contemporary Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Right? Gamliel's contemporary Elazar ben Azariah was after the Churban. Much later. They were contemporaries Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Eliezer. So, and then it says there in Masechus Machos that at the time that Shmuel was dying, and then Gamliel and Zokin, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah were being matzah on him, he says a mistake. By Toso Masechus Sofrim, it's clear Toso it says Zokin. It is a mistake. He says a mistake. Who are Gamliel the Avner? Chaber Shebel Lesben Azari ben Asius. The same time the Asius. Kisa Brachos Kokhba Chesam Rav. Also Shmuel Kotan Shniv Shas Misaso. So this Shmuel Kotan who made this the word time is death. Hoya Bisman Gamliel the Avner. Lesben Azariah was man of Nibe Shimon Bishmuel Charba. So that was the time he gave this nevuah. Emes Reisi Sham Bago Sham Shem Gra Shemochak ben Azariah. Yeah, it's a different version. He takes Ben Azariah. Please take the man of Gamliel, Gamliel Zakin, Lezer ben Hurkanus. Then it's possible. Gamliel Zakin, Lezer ben Hurkanus, who was was much older than the people enumerated in Yavne. Avadaiti Shezeh. Well, that's much older. It was older. That you say, no, it's not true. The Meir Gamliel Zakin Loya, Rabbi Elazar ben Hurkanus Talmud, Rabbi Yochanan Zak, go to the door. Because even though it was older Rabbi Akiva, perhaps older Rabbi Yeshua, but he still wasn't one of the Gedolei Ador at the time Rabbi Gamliel Zakin. Loya Nichnash Im Rabbi Gamliel Zakin Haspid. He wouldn't have been in the same category to be Maspid. Chen Borish Gra Mochak Hazakin. Must be that the Gra himself also looked at the word Zakin. Famatik Shmi Shashlo, whoever copied out of the Shas of the Gra, decided, no, I don't like that. Mochak ben Azariah Bato. So he decided to change ben Azariah instead. But that's a Gra Kedai should circle Lamar Gamliel Elazar ben Azariah. Who Rabbi Gamliel the Yavne was Manim Nibi Shmuel Kotem B'Shas Misoso, and during the time of Yavne, then he gave this nebuah at the time of his death. Shishim Shmuel Charba. Okay, so then he goes to a whole story of places, a whole list of places where Hazakin appears by mistake. We're going to skip that part because we don't really have to know it for now. And then he does say, and this is an important concession in his part, it says he was a lifetime Hillel, which is much earlier. But that's okay. Could be living a long life. Mason Gamliel the Avne, he died in time of Gamliel Avne, Chaver Rabbi Elazar Azariah, B'Shas Misaso, when he's dying, Nibe Shimon Shmuel Charba. Udaiti. So he says, you know what? I think, and this is the punchline here, Shmuel Katan Niber Shimon Rabbi Shmuel Shenergu Akar Churban Beitar. She's speaking Rabbi Akiva. This was a different Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Shimon, not the same ones who was killed at the time of the Churban. These are killed at the Churban Beitar. She's speaking Rabbi Akiva. And Rabbi Akiva said, Hesped on that. He said, Mechil to Pash Mishpatim. For Rabbi Shmuel and Shimon Yoitzim Lorek. Ushnergu Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Shmuel, Marlem, Rabbi Akiva Talmidov, Haskinu Atzechem Puranus. Be prepared for bad, worse things to come. Hatzadik Abba Einish Samalev. Because the tzaddikim are being destroyed and nobody's paying attention. V'maseh zeh huva gankim sechet smochas perches v'shin iktzas shama gesher shin gamliel Rabbi Shmuel v'hi agor Rabbi Shmuel kohen gadol. Okay, etc., etc. I don't want to go through the whole thing now, but the point is that the idea, which is stressing here, is that there had to have been an additional Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Shmuel who were killed at the time of the Churban Beitar. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Shmuel Katan's nevuah. Okay, so that's without going into great length. That's important for us to understand. So therefore, there had to have been another Rabbi Shmuel. Whoever the second Rabbi Shimon is, we don't know for the moment. But there's another Rabbi Shmuel who was appointed to be the Kohen Gadol at the time of Hadrian, and this relates to something which is in the Haggadah in Gittin, also in Kinos. Who Rabbi Shlosh Be'esa Churban Nar Yafei Naim. It's the one of the Kinos refers to this, and one again that there was a child at the time of the Churban who was a young lad who was taken captive in Rome. He had beautiful eyes, B'Tov and very handsome, with a substance and beautiful hair. The Churamayim was Chevy, and the Romans took him into captivity. I knew Beis HaSurim, and they put him into prison Baromi. But Yeshua Padu B'Kesef Rav. And Rabbi Yeshua redeemed him for a lot of money. She's God, and when he became older, Vayola Ish, and became a man, Nishba Pam Achas Bilvush Shalovash Aviv Uvitzitz Shayanasun Bain Enov. Evidently, he one point put on the same garment that his father put on. It's obviously his father was also a Kohen, and he took an oath with the tzitz, wearing actually the tzitz at the time. So he was appointed Liskan Kohen Gadol Minu to the Kohen Gadol, and Liskan Kohen Gadol Minu Oz Kefi Anira. They appointed as Rabbi China Skan HaKohanim. And China Skan HaKohanim appears prominently in the first parak of Psachim, and says all sorts of things about what went on in the Beis HaMikdash. And he was, according to the Zivchei Ephraim, saying was not it didn't flourish at the time the actual Beis HaMikdash, but at the time of the house of at the time of Hadrian. So we can imagine how happy the nation was when they saw this holy, great and holy person. So Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, Omen Shamash Yom Kippurim, standing in Shamash Yom Kippur, V'nichnas lifnei, and went into whatever ruin there was of the Kodashim, Chapar Aleim. Rabbi Shmuel Kohen Gadol paid out was the 84th Kohen Gadol. Aaron Kohen Rishon, Aaron was the first one, Vuachon was the last one. And this, there is an opinion, of course, there were 300 Kohanim in the second Beis HaMikdash. She's not going with that opinion. Later on, he speaks about in this introduction how many Kohanim there were, and he enumerates them. But without going there, I'm not sure we're going to do that part. But in any event, Hadrian was very quickly regretted the license he gave Shanasim Nosis Beis Hashem. So you shouldn't be seen as somebody who's reneging on his words. Hodir Shmo Natsib Surya the governor of Syria of Eretz Yisrael, and Eretz Yisrael, whose name was Betunus Rufus, Tarnus, or it says here Tarnus Furus, Tarnu Sropus. Shav Shenosalem Rishon knows Beis HaMikdash, even though again mentioned to build the Beis HaMikdash, Avalo Nasan Lohem Rishus Leave no Sam Makoma Rishon it's also Tamisa Shem Yikodim. It wasn't supposed to be its initial location and its initial format. Hayudim Shloech Leave knows Mikdash Kazeh. The Jews couldn't build a different Beis HaMikdash. For Rosh and they saw their hope was dashed. These Katsumo, they got very angry. Not long passed, and they fought against the second war against the Romans. And the great warrior Shimon bar Kokhba was at their head. And also this time the strength of Israel was dashed. The Turnus Rufus. Arasha Lakar as Beitar, he captured Beitar. I mean, Bar Kokhba Muhammad. Last fortune Bar Kokhba retained his strength. I don't understand why the Israelis have never excavated Beitar. We know where it is, and it's been left as ruin. I really don't understand why. I mean, you would think there'd be, if not as significant as Mount Matzada, just second in significance to Matzada. So, but it's a mystery to me why they don't do it. And he could kill thousands, 10,000 our nation at a mitzvah, no limit. The garments of Yishmael Kohen Gadol Achron, Uskano, and his sister Hananya, but Shimon ben Azai. Oh, Nergaz, and perhaps that's the Rabbi Shimon who's referred to by Shmuel Katan. Ves or Pnei Rabbi Shmuel Yofe, and the flesh, the skin of Rabbi Shmuel's face, which is beautiful. Hivshitu, and other places, they peeled off. And Yichud begins to Roman Shmes, and they put it in the treasure, houses in Rome as a memorial. Adrianus caused great anguish in Nisuda. They realized that with sword and with spear, with might and with human strength, the Jews will not be saved. In many days have passed. Until Mashiach comes and redeems us. Even before this war started, Rabbi Yochanan ben Torsa recognizes Rabbi Akiva. He said Akiva should Dorash Dora Kocham Yaakov al Bar Yaakov Kokhba, who expounded the pasuk that a star has come down, emerged from Yaakov Bar Kokhba. He said Akiva Yalu Asavin Chayecha V'Adayim Ben David Lo Yavo. Grass is going to be growing in your cheeks, and the Mashiach is not going to come yet. So Yerushalmi and Tainis and Medashecha. Even though they knew very well, that we're finished. Gulas Yisrael is not coming to him soon. They were involved. They never ceased learning Kodashim. But in the days of that was still the days of Tanoim, but the days of Amoraim, we saw something different. Amoraim Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Shlokish, Rabbi Lezer, Chavreim, Tamidem, Askor, Baby Seder Kodashim. They learned a lot of Kodashim. And there's a lot, even though we don't have the Yerushalmi Kodashim, which we presume is lost, we have a lot from these Amorai Eretz Yisrael in Bavli on Kodashim. But for Amoraim Abadel from the early generations, Shmuel, Rav Huna, V'Domeim, Ma'ad Motzin B'Seder Zeh. You find very little about in Kodashim. Milvad Rav, except for Rav, Shemenim to our Be'alachas Dinim B'Seder Zeh. Family has a lot of halachas and dinim in Kodashim. Kusida Torah's Kohanim, because he arranged Torah's Kohanim, which is of course mostly about Kodashim. It's a minute of Zvachim, Kubeis, and Beis, Mama Rochen, Ifla, B'Shono, Nisha, B'Losha, Zev, Torah's Kohanim. And evidently there's some long statement in Zvachim, which has a parallel in Torah's Kohanim. Only 15 halachos from Shmuel in all Maseches Menachos. Shosh me'ek varbo Maseches Vachim. Three of which already in Maseches Vachim. Dvarim mechudinim Kodashim hanogim Mikdash Kodashim. That's all of the new halachos he has in terms of the Mikdash and Kodashim. Av she'akohen even though Shmuel is the Kohen. Torah's Kodashim, Torah's Kohanim, and the Torah of Kodashim is the Torah of Kohanim. The Av Kamar, and even though he said V'nichlemu Mikol she'asu. They should be embarrassed everything they did. And I don't remember the exact lashon in the Medrash. He says, "Is there a Beis HaMikdash now?" He's asking, since you're involved in learning Kodashim as if you built it. So Shmuel was encouraged them to learn Kodashim. We still have many halachos and halachos of the Mikdash in the Kodesh. Like find out, he'll do so. When his father Abu the Shmuel asked him for halachas kachim, al achas heishiv kalacha. When he answered correctly, and to be answered incorrectly, his father said you were wrong. Rabbi Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Rabba, Papa, Rabbi Rabashi, Rabim, Molei Seder Kachim. Kakol Seder Molei Milchoseim Pil Poleim. So why later Amoraim did come back to learn in Bavel the halachas of Kodashim, if earlier Amoraim, especially the great Shmuel, barely touched Kodashim? You got to get that special davar. I really toiled in order to know the answer to this question. Why not? Lo matzasi. Halodine Mikdash Kodashim Miktzah Gadol. I'm not sure it means a little bit here, but anyway, the laws of Dini Mikdash Kodashim Miktzah Gadol b'Torah. Aksum Torah. That's the Dini Mikdash Kodashim are a huge topic in Torah. In the Torah Shbiksav, Torah Shbapek, V'Edus Rabashi, Seres Vachim Amukamaot. Mzaz was very deep. Rabbi Arvo Marilio Zorotov Barbola Matzina Mashita Matzina. He said, and Rabbi Arvo said to Leo, I can only 4 times I can't learn. You want me to learn 6? Shashi Begirsa Darbar Storim Kigon Moed Yeshuos Noshim Sheinogim Bizman Hazeh Kibizman Bayis V'Kodashim Nami. So they wanted to learn Kodashim. Moed, Noshim, Nezikin, and Kodashim. They just learned Zroim and Taros. Nochas Daf Kuf Yud Etam Yechom Eskim B'Tav Tulchecha Baruch Chom Bakom Alei Kosum Kima Kima Som Beis HaMikdash Hakal L'Shono. And we know that people who learn Kodashim is that they're in the Beis HaMikdash. Ramashal Kosim Torah Chatas Kikriv Chatas. Kosim Torah Sosh Kikriv Torah Sosham. Madul Lo Matzino Harbe Lochas Me'amoroi. Bavar Yishayim. So why didn't they learn it? So Ulai Time Fish almost decided excited about Rabbi Zera to have a mashkach rabban in the maskeh. So fascinating thing. He said, this is really fascinating. He says, Rabbi Zera, when he found rabban were involved in trying for when Mashiach's going to come, Mashiach ben David, Amalei said, Matus minachu, please, lo terchaku, don't push it further away. So the thing we learned shlosha boim besach hadas. 3 things come when you're distracted from them. Elu, and these are Mashiach, Metzia, V'akrov. Mashiach and a lost object, and a scorpion. These things which when you least expect to find them, you find them. But a person who learns deeply the halachos of the Beis HaMikdash and Kodashim, loy malet asher lo yales tzion al libo. It's not possible he's going to not think about Zion. There's done David al and Mashiach. And this is going to distance the coming of the redemption. The first Amoraim was to an Eretz Yisrael who suffered a lot from the wickedness of the kings of Rome. Rabbi died, the tzaros were magnified. One of the early Amoraim in Eretz Yisrael said, go and plant during Shemitah. When they didn't have from what to pay the tax, so you need pasim to be seized, Mason Fisa die in prison. Gavim loyal scheme of Torah Kodashim Hayom Alim et Yerushalmi Alibam V'Neim Yutamim L'Sus Morom. So even if they weren't involved in Kodashim, they would still be thinking about always about Zion and Jerusalem. V'Neim Yutamim L'Sus Morom. They always be looking on high. Shishlachas Mashiach B'Yiftem Mitzvah Same. Some Mashiach redeemed them from their tzaras v'lo loyalim hesel hadas menu. They never would be able to not pay attention to this learning. The guy loyal scheme even they wouldn't learn Kodashim directly. So they figured, okay, might as well learn it. In Bavel at that time, they sat in peace and tranquility. The Loshan were kol no gaze. They didn't hear any voices of oppression. They didn't learn the laws of Beis HaMikdash. They figured, okay, we're in a state of Hesed Chadas. We're not thinking about the Geula because we're in a great situation right now. Things are fine and dandy. So things are fine and dandy. So therefore, this is an out time for Mashiach to come to Hesed Chadas. So we're not going to learn Kodashim. Amazing. Days later, Achronim, when they had a lot of pains and travails, and they said, okay, anyway, we're suffering, might as well learn Kodashim. I know this is a very weak reason. But what am I supposed to say? I have no other good reason why the first time Amoraim in Babel didn't learn Kodashim. It's a fascinating thing. It's true about later generations. Okay.
So according to this reason, all the modern push for Mashiach is actually pushing it off.
Right. So he's going to speak about that. I think we're running out of time, so we can leave it out. But he actually takes it down to modern times. Okay. But obviously, modern times was the 1920s. But that's what he's going to go through. He's going to give a historical overview of the period from the time of the last Amoraim until the Dersh Bachreim. When Kodashim was in vogue and when Kodashim wasn't in vogue. Okay.
No, but it's not, like the Lubavitch or we want Mashiach now.
Yeah.
According to this theory, is actually not helping.
No, exactly. Right.
Now, whether we accept the theory is a different question.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, we'll finish up. Next week will be the last week we do this, and then we'll go to Igeres Shira Gon.
Okay.
Okay?
Good.
Okay, have a good week.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.